Yo, Halito. What up, cuz?
Hey, what's going on with you, baby?
Yo, well, I'm in traffic, so I'm gonna pass you the talking stick, cuz.
De estamos to everybody. Greetings. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday. Yeah. So, what's going on with you, baby? Yeah, Christina,
Yeah,
what's going
peace.
on with you?
I'm in traffic, so I'm gonna pass you the talking stick, cuz it's Negro Indian History Herstory Month. So I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm sure you got a lot to share with the people. I'm gonna pass the talking stick, and I'll be back momentarily.
All right. Look like y'all gonna be with me for a little bit, y'all. Once you uh get to get to her residence, you know what I'm saying? But, thank you, Chico, for coming in, visiting from Vegas as always, and hope everybody else come on in and join us. Yo, you know, dealing with all the information that's out there and everything, and people and them want to be super Indians. But it's funny where you got people them just want to show their documents to people and everything and stuff. It's cool, fine, and dandy. Okay, you know who you want to show and all that there. But my thing is this, right? You are not the proper authorities, right? So people don't really need to show you any documents because you're not dealing with the United States government. You're not dealing with the tribal government of people there is. You know what I'm saying? It's not a super Indian pissing contest, you know? And I don't like using the word Indian because the word Indian means it goes without God. That was the Spanish word of it. Los Indios. You know what I'm saying? So because they saw you as the ancestor or those who are descendants as being savages and heathens and barbarians because you were not a Christian, that you did not accept Catholicism. And then when you did not accept Catholicism, they actually sick their dogs on you, and then they waterboard you, and then they cut the fetus out of the stomach of the indigenous woman and stumped on the child head. The tactics of the Holy Roman Empire has never changed because they wind up doing it in the 1960s, dealing with the civil rights movement, when they actually took water holes and released the dogs on Aboriginal people and also those who was of admixtures. So the tactics has not changed. So now you have people that will say, "Oh, yeah, show your grandparents and show this and show that and all that there." Okay, well, who are you to show you my family documents? Who are you to try to say, "Well, I validate you who you say you are, Pop?" Or whoever. Who are they that say, "Oh, you got to show"? Well, like the Rock said, who in the blue in the hell are you? Who are you? Who are you? You're not a family member. You're not a part of the tribal council, at least of my nation. But if you think that I'm going to get on social media that's open to the public and put out my family information, then you sadly mistaken. You sadly mistaken. When I fly out to New Orleans International Airport, I don't use a state ID. I don't use a state driver's license. I use my tribal ID. I use my tribal ID. Hensei. Because in Anthony Hensei. Because this, like it says, right? This card meets the Homeland Security TSA requirements, which is located, and they give you the website of TSA where you can go to it and everything, and you can see. I have flown many years out the international airport, going to South Carolina. No problem. Fly out of South Carolina with the same tribal ID. No problem. So, if Homeland Security don't have a problem with me being Yvmvse, or the state of Louisiana, or the city of New Orleans, then what it is to you? What it is to you? What it is to you? Oh, the Yvmvse extinct. How? And Homeland Security recognizes us because we can travel freely through the highways and byways and airways. How? How? Right, it's on the tribal ID card. But that's what they don't understand. Oh, y'all not federal recognized. Y'all not state recognized. Well, obviously they recognize us because we fly through Homeland Security with the ID. Right? It's funny. It's real funny. I worked at the international airport for 10 years, which is a decade. From 2009 to 2019. And then I went back. Right? I went back in 2021 to 2022. So basically, that's 12 years that I work at the international airport. And when I went through TSA, the people that I know that work at TSA, they was like, oh, man, I didn't know you was an Indian. I said, you never asked. Both male and female TSA workers. Y'all knew Paul was an Indian? Some say, yeah, we knew because we talked to him. So if I'm not who I say that I am, should I have not been detained by Homeland Security Police when I went through TSA if I'm not who I say that I am? Think about it. Think about it. If you're not who you say you are, you're not going through no TSA line. They're going to ask you to stand right there, and they're going to call their supervisor. And when they see you not who you say you are, they're going to call the Homeland Security Police for your ass to find out what the fuck is going on. So all y'all that's talking all that bullshit and everything, talking about, oh, Pa, you not this and you not that, motherfucker, the proof of burden is on you because I already showed and proved already. So now the proof of burden on you to say that I'm not who you say that I am. Oh, you never late, cuz. I worked at the international airport. During holidays and Mardi Gras. And then the name that's on your ID better match with your boarding pass. Because if it don't match with your boarding pass, you're not getting through. They go turn your ass right around. That's why I let people talk. I let people talk. Like they got one person, they want to, I ain't even gonna give it no credence. But anyway, you know, right. Teach your children. That's right. Teach your children. Teach your children. Once you teach your children, can't go wrong. You know, and that's what you're supposed to teach. You're supposed to teach your children and their children, and it's so forth, so on. But that's the thing right there. How you gonna deny people who they are? Who are you to deny people who they say they are? That's the thing. It shall come, Stone Gang 21. It shall come. Let's keep on doing your investigation. Right? If your family had a family Bible, look in the family Bible. If you have obituaries, look in the obituaries. If you have land patents or any kind of land documents or court documents, look it up. The U.S. Census, right? Look it up. Any oral stories you heard, look it up. Because see, what some people fail to realize is that some people didn't write it down because they wrote it down and they got caught. Right? Then they're trying to kill you because remember they was hanging people because the people knew that they was Indians or from a different tribal nation. So you say you're teaching your children the oral traditions. So I have to ask you, where did those traditions come from? And when you get those traditions, then that's when you know that's where the tribe name is. Because a tradition is tied to a tribal nation and clan. So it's somebody in your family that knows it. She may have not spoken out like in the public, but she gave it to somebody in the family. You just have to find out who that person is. You have to talk like to her sister or to her brothers or to her nieces and nephews. See who has that information. Okay, okay. So you're in the South Carolina area. So those records um probably be down there in South Carolina, like in Charleston and Summer in that part of South Carolina. You just have to I don't know where you're living at, but you might have to take a trip down, or you might have to go to those cities' websites and everything and see what tribal nation was living in that area, and look at the land patterns and every other information that you could. But I wish you had the tribal oral stories that you said that you have, because I'm pretty sure she didn't keep it to herself. Because if she told, if your grandmother was told as a little girl, but her grandmother and her great grandmother told her the name but never said it, she had to tell it to somebody within your family. You're gonna have to just ask around. It's gonna take a lot of asking. You have to ask aunties, uncles, cousins. Yeah. Yeah, Stamo, cousin Ella. What's going on with you, baby? That's how you find it out. You're gonna have to really do your investigation. You're gonna have to sit down and talk to the elders in your family before they close their eyes. Even talk to some of the younger ones, because they're the ones that be having the information too. So now you gotta ask around what young person in your family knows the history. You'd be surprised. Oh, you talk. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You're talking to the siblings that are still here. And what did you get from them? Did you get some kind of information that help you in your search and your journey? Hopefully, they give you some good information where you can get some leads to finish doing your investigation on your family. And then you know what's so funny too, right? By me being in the southeast, right? They all say it started with an A, but um, they they all say it started with an A, but they were told don't speak about it, and so they started to forget dementia. So now what you have to do is look in those areas and see what tribal nation started with an A. Here on the styles of canoes, the ocean going canoes, 2 7 street canoes, shovel canoes, racing canoes, mostly known by elevation man canoe. Yeah, look in those areas in South Carolina and see what nations start with an A. Have your family always been in South Carolina or did they move from another place? Because see, I'm trying to narrow things down for you. If you said it was in South Carolina, see what tribes in South Carolina start with the letter A. See what tribes in South Carolina start with the letter A. And then if it's not South Carolina, you may have to look in North Carolina. If it's not North Carolina, you might have to look in Virginia, or you might have to look in West Virginia, or you might have to look in Tennessee. Let's see something. Uh, Let me see something. All right. Well, let me see if I can help you with it. Um, the Appalachia, they was in South Carolina. You also had the Ashipu, that was also in South Carolina, and you also had the Awadiwa in South Carolina. So yeah, that's those tribes that's in South Carolina. So so we just narrowed it down. So now what you have to do is you have to throw those names to them. Since you have those names, say those names to them, and one of those names go ring it out to them, and they go be like, "Yes, yes, that's it, man." Look, um, go and drink some coffee or some tea with them, and get some raisin bread, and sit down and talk to them and open them up. Let me tell you something about dementia, right? What people fail to realize, there's two types of memory loss dealing with dementia. You have short term memory loss, and then you have the long term memory loss. But I guarantee you sit down and you start asking them about shit that happened in their childhood, they go start spitting everything out to you. Watch what I tell you. You're gonna be like, damn, Pop said that. Yeah, yeah. So when you say dementia, is it short term or is it long term? Because I know when the elders get up in age, they go back and start remembering things what they did when they was young, and people think they crazy, and it was like, no, they talking about what they did when they was young. That's how you get a lot of information too. You may not get, like, they probably forget what happened like 10 to 15 minutes ago, but you sit down there and ask them about their childhood and say what you heard about y'all being an Indian. man, they're gonna start spitting that out like it ain't nothing. And you throw them names at them, and they're gonna be like, it's one of those names. And now it's up to you to decipher it. So yeah, that's what that's dealing with. Okay, okay. That's a beautiful thing. I like this interaction. So see, this is the oral stories that you have. And that's a beautiful thing. So now you just gotta piece them together. So write those names down of those nations that you just spoke about and that I spoke about and that my cousin spoke about, and then go and talk to them and ask them about it. Ask them. And they're gonna be like, yeah, that's it. Watch. And then when they say, yeah, that's it, come back the following Sunday and let me know if that's what they said. It's one of them. I think it's such and such. Yeah. And then another thing is you have to reassure them that everything is all right now to speak. That's what you got to do. See, when you tell them that a unc or a auntie, look, it's free to speak now. You can tell me, you can tell me everything there is to tell me. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You got to reassure them because you got to remember the time that they grew up in now. You know, right? You got to let the elders in them know, hey, it's all right to speak now. It's all right because you had to remember, not everybody family put it in the Bible and all that there because once again, them people got hold of that. Oh, this motherfucker knows. Oh, because that's what people didn't fail to realize. There wasn't hanging no Africans because the Africans didn't have no stake in the land over here. But when they said it was an Indian, oh, hang them. Because there's even accounts when they said that the nigga had a neck like Indian rubber. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Why would they say that this nigga got neck like Indian rubber? Anybody know where Indian rubber is? Look up that term. Look up that saying. See, that's the gruesome stories that they was doing in the late 1800s and the early 1900s when they was hanging them. They say this nigga got a neck like Indian rubber. Because when it was hanging, the people, sometimes the people didn't die because their neck was stretched like Indian rubber and the people wouldn't die. So you know what they had to do? About to tell y'all some gruesome shit. They had to set them on fire and they had to shoot them while they was on fire. Because can you imagine somebody being hung and they didn't die and they didn't choke and they up there laughing at you because they don't feel no pain? Right. They were hard to kill. See, these are the things that nobody don't talk about because it's too gruesome. And mind you, that didn't happen that long ago. And then some of the people, they was like, yeah, we'll be a nigga. Because they did that to comply, because they knew if they didn't, they knew somebody was going to die. Hollywood put it in the movie called Rosewood. And I printed this out in 2012 on my Blog Talk Radio. When the mob of Europeans went at the brother and said, "You think you Seminole boy? You think you Seminole boy?" In Rosewood. I printed it out in 2012. Now, why would he ask the brother down there in Florida, "Boy, you think you're a Seminole boy?" So that lets you know that they knew that the Seminoles was a Negro. Huh? He ain't call him no Freeman. He ain't call him no Freeman. He ain't call him no Black Seminole. He said, "You think you're a Seminole boy?" Even down the King's Road, when they were supposed to go and speak to Osceola, and they said, "We are looking for runaway slaves." And Osceola said, "There are no slaves here. Everyone you see here is Seminole. If there was any slaves, we would have returned them to you, slave catchers." But once again, if the Seminoles of today were to have looked like the Seminoles in the 1800s, and they had nigger slaves amongst them, would not the nigger slaves would have stuck out like a sore thumb? Yes or no?
Yep.
If the Seminoles of the 1800s would have looked like the Seminoles today, who've been amalgamated, the Negroes who ran away from the plantation with the help of different tribes that brought them down there in Florida, they would have stuck out like a sore thumb. This is why when the Seminole War went on, right, the Colonel had to tell General Andrew Jackson, "This is not an Indian war, this is a Negro war." Huh? This is why they said all niggas look alike. Because they couldn't tell the Seminole from the Escaluse. They couldn't tell. Because if you got a nigga that's dressed up like a Seminole, you wouldn't know that he was from West Africa until he opened his mouth. That's why the elders of them told him, "Don't say nothing, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth hush." It's the same question that you would ask, well, if Jesus was a white man, how he went into Egypt when Egypt was a bunch of niggers? Wouldn't Jesus stuck out like a sore thumb and the Roman soldiers would have arrested him because Herod would have said, "Oh, there you go right there." He would have stuck out like a sore thumb. You only can hide amongst the people that you look like.
Right.
You got anything to say, cuz?
No, I'm just tuning in. Peace to everybody in the chat again. I'm back. I'm just listening. You need to share your screen, cuz.
I ain't pulled nothing up on the screen.
Okay.
I ain't pulled nothing up on the screen. You know, if I got anything, I'll tell you to pull it up for me because I ain't got my screen yet. But you know, people don't like that. You know, and that's the thing right there. But they're not talking about all the Southeastern Indians were Negro featured. And And the anthropologists in them say this. And the archaeologists in them say this. But see, but people don't want to dig into that. Because now they know that, hey, wow, you know, they have documentation on this. Just like what my B. Maku said, right? How can I act like a Negro? It's in the congressional records when it said that the Yvmvse looked like Negroes and Africans that were pre-Columbian before the European colonizers came. So if Christopher Columbus came in 1492 and they said that we was pre-Columbians, then that means we was around in the 1300s, the 1200s, 1100s, 1000, 900, 800, 700, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? But they don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
They even took some of the tribal people to Spain and had them labeled as Negroes and had them on the auction block. Right. If the tribal ancestors didn't look like Negroes, then why they was being sold on the auction block in Spain as Negroes then? Why? Why? Somebody please tell me why. When De Soto and De Pasta de Leon them was bringing tribal people over there to Spain and it was being sold as Negroes in the motherfucking 1500s, then what was they then? Why they was called Negroes and sold?
Exactly.
Cuz, can you actually pull that up on American Indians of the Southeast sold in Spain in 1520, somewhere around 1520 or 1530s in Spain as Negroes, and see what it come up.
Say it one more time because you said a whole lot. Say it just how you said it.
In the
'Cause I'm typing it.
1500s, in the 1500s, tribal people was taken into Spain and sold as Negroes on the auction block. See, I'm not just only giving you 1700s, I'm giving you 1500s. Anything came up?
Seville, Spain, a legacy of indigenous slavery.
Uh-huh. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How indigenous people from the Americas were sold as Negroes on the auction block. Oh, look at here. The Taino were different. And they were the first people from the New World to walk along Seville streets and straight to the auction block, right? What else it says? Let's get to the point to where they was being sold as Negroes on the auction block.
I might need to pull up another one.
Because they got the documentation where they said it was sold as Negroes on the auction block. Because they should have had it in the heading on the link under the link when they showed about them being sold as Negroes.
Did you send me a link or something?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, let me read this, right? They said during the transatlantic slave trade, many indigenous people from Americas were indeed sold into slavery, often misclassified as Negroes or Indios in the Spanish colonies. All right, the conquistadors and the colonization of Spain and the conquistadors arrived in America seeking gold and resources and new territories to claim. Enslavement of indigenous people, many Native Americans was forced into slavery, often under the Gillis or reset or random. All right, they say dealing with the enslavement were sold into slavery alongside Africans and transported to various colonies, including those in Spain. Misclassification and erasure. The Negroes or indigenous people were often misclassified as Negroes. All right, erasing their distinctive culture and identity and nation. Loss of identity and culture, enslaved indigenous people faced enforced assimilation and language suppressed and culture erasure. Legacy and recognition. Unrecognized history, this aspect of history remains largely unrecognized and the impact the indigenous community is still felt today. Reconciliation and recognition effort of being made to acknowledge and reconcile this painful history include to recognize the rights and identity of the indigenous people.
Can you send me that? Or you want to share your screen?
No, it's not on my screen. I have it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Let me see. This says, okay, it says most Native Americans, if living in Britain today, will be regarded as being black, especially if their ancestry were not known. Negro was also used in a general way in North American colonies.
All
Well,
right. They said the records of the Virginia Company of London These records document the early history of Virginia colonies, including the enslavement of Native Americans. They say the journal of the Spanish conquistadors, Hernando de Soto, the journal described the enslavement of Native Americans during his expansion in the southeastern United States.
You talking about this one right here?
Yeah, yeah. And then there's the National Archives of Records Administration, which is NORA, which holds the records relating to the transatlantic slave trade, including documents on Native American enslavement. And then they say the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress have extensive collection on materials relating to the history of Native American enslavement. The Smithsonian Institute National Museum of Native Americans. This museum has a vast collection of material related to Native American history, including documents on enslavement.
Library of Congress.
OCO Chief Six Fingers, what's going on with you? Or
Yeah,
why?
CO. Yo. Okay. You said Library of Congress, Indigenous slavery.
Now remember, this was before the transatlantic slave trade because the transatlantic slave trade happened way later. So if you got American Indians being called Negroes before the transatlantic slave trade, then that ought to tell you something. Right, Six Fingers. Right. Because you know you got people who want you prove yourself, prove yourself. Well, the proof of burden is on you because I know who I am. Or add mixtures of life. Or add mixtures of life.
I wish you could send me that. What you reading? Because I'm just like Googling as you talking.
Let me
Or
see.
do you have a book reference? I can pull that up. Yeah, you could send it in the private chat or the link.
Well, Six Fingers, he just put the book in there about Allen right there, dealing with the Indian slavery in colonial America.
Ellen Delay, Indian slavery.
Uh-huh.
Right. The rise of the okay. All right, I got it. No, it won't let me look at it.
Yale University Press.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And you know what? They might have a PDF file on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
You might have to put PDF file when you do
Yeah.
the search. Put the name and
Yeah.
put PDF file.
Usually it'll just give it to me, but I guess it's acting funny today.
There you go.
Hmm. My glasses. Yeah.
Oh, that's his other book? Yeah, he got multiple books.
All right.
Well, the question is, why you gonna misclassify somebody as a Negro if they didn't look like it?
Right, exactly. Okay, let's look at these table of contents. All right, they got the Mississippian era, the Carolina, the Westo, and the trade in Indian slaves. Crossroad of cultures. They got Scots, Yvmvse, and Carolina colony. Then they got Arkansas, Tunica, Tiensa, and French missionaries. And then diplomacy of war. So, which chapter you want to look at? The the Carolina, the Westos, and the trade in Indian slaves, or the crossroad of cultures,
Yeah, you look
Scots?
at that one. You look
Huh?
at that one because with most people, the Westos, look at the Westo
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Because what people don't know is that the Westos was the one that started the enslavement of the tribes in the South.
Oh, they dirty for this. Wait a minute.
Or they want you to buy it.
Ye- All right. Now it's a limited preview. These mother. Mm, okay. This acting weird.
That's my question. Why you gonna misclassify people as Negroes?
Let me see if they mention that in here. Okay, we're gonna go back to. It says, because I try to put in the word Negro, it just says, as a free people, they believed in trusting with arms those who have the greatest interest. Nevertheless, their militia enrolled a considerable number of active, able Negro slaves. But
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jack D. Forbes spoke about it too in his book.
which one?
Um, Negro, Black, and Indian by Jack D. Forbes.
Okay.
Because he did some extensive work. But you got some people talking about, oh, that been done. No, it wasn't.
Negro, Black, and Indian.
Yeah, by Jack D. Forbes.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, I just see the Africans and Native Americans. That book?
Yeah, that book.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see them Incans on there. They real dark. All right, so let's look at this. All right. Okay. It says Negro, Black, and more, the evolution of these terms as applied to Native Americans and others. Page 65. We can look at that. And then we can look at the mulatto one too. It says the classification of Native Americans as mulattoes in Anglo North America. They got the musties, half-breeds, and zombos. Native Americans as pardos and people of color. So,
Ooh, people of color. Ooh.
mhm,
But look at
right.
here, right? This is what I found, right? They say in the 1520s and the 1540s, the Spanish colonizers continued to enslave and transport Native Americans to Spain, where they was often misclassified as Negroes and sold into slavery.
Okay, can you send me that?
This on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I can screenshot it and send it to your phone. You do that.
Okay, do you want me to? Okay, I'm gonna get that. And do you want me to look at it? It says Negro, Black, and more. The evolution of these terms applied to Native Americans and others. On page 65. Please.
I just sent it. I just sent it to your Facebook. Facebook, your box Facebook.
All right.
You see what I sent you on Facebook?
Yeah. Key dates. That one.
Yeah, yeah. I gave you the key dates. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shit. I don't know why it's doing this shit. Oh, okay. Let me see it. Yeah, that book won't let me view all the pages, but I'm gonna have to find another PDF for that book.
Right, so that's the
Okay.
dates, the key dates right there. So y'all can do that investigation. I gave y'all the dates and everything. Well, actually, AI gave the dates. So in the Spanish documents, the American natives or the Native Americans was considered Negroes.
Hmm. They won't even let me look at that page. No. 190.
And that was the Indians from the southeast. Greetings, Big Pontiac. What's going on with you, baby? So you can see the key dates that the tribal people were being seen, because you have to remember, in the 1500s, they was all in the southeast. They didn't go past the southeast until the 1800s. So the only Indians that they did see was those of the southeast and the northeast. That's the only Indians that they saw. Because remember, they didn't go expansion to west until after the so-called Louisiana Purchase. That's when they got to see the other natives once they crossed, which they call now the Mississippi River. But before that, they didn't know what lied behind that river, because they call it no man's land, because they didn't know what's in that land. You see? So all the Indians that they saw were right here in the southeast, in the north, in the northeast. But mostly all the tribes that was in the northeast, I mean in the southeast, were the Negroes by the Spanish and by the French. Because it says that when De Soto got to Louisiana, he met Negro Indians, and that was in 1530. That part. Well, actually, that was in the 1540s, 1540s that he had met him. I'm gonna send that to you.
Okay, here. This says it right here. It says in 1540, Hernando de Soto and his Spanish expedition encountered various Native American tribes during their exploration of the American Southeast, including groups referred to as Negro Indians, which is a term used by early European explorers to describe certain tribes with darker skin tones, often associated with the Mississippian culture and not related to the concept of race as understood today.
So So, so right there, Negro Indians, right? And this was before the Atlantic slave trade.
Yep, 1540.
1540. And what year did the transatlantic slave trade started with the Africans? What year?
Let me look that up because I don't know that by heart right now.
Well, they talk about the 1619 dealing with those that's supposed to went to Virginia or the Carolinas in 1619.
Well, they try to give it a big gap and they say oh, they dirty. And I ordered this book and I didn't even go pick it up either. But they trying to say like it said, but they tried to give a big window. They didn't fuck with this. It says between 1501 and 1867. 1867, 1700s, 1800s sounds correct. They trying to add some shit. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay. It says 1560, the beginning of continuous slave trade from Brazil. Then 1808, the United States outlawed the transatlantic slave trade. Then in 1833, the British Parliament passed the Slavery Abolition Act, which freed all slaves in British dominions on
Well,
August 1st.
either way, Hernando de Soto, he got to see Negro Indians before the transatlantic slave trade even happened.
Right.
Either way it goes. So in his own documents, he said that he met Negro Indians in Louisiana, which at that time in the 1500s there was no Louisiana. It was West Florida, to be technically politically correct. It was West Florida because it didn't become Louisiana until what's happening, nephew? It didn't become known as Louisiana until 1803. But before that, in the 1500s, it wasn't called Louisiana. It was still a part of Florida. So Hondo de Soto was still in Florida because what is now called Louisiana was still a part of Florida.
Yeah, it says, and see, they won't mention this word, but that I found that's on the screen, that's when it mentions Negro Indians. This other stuff, it just says Hernando de Soto and his Spanish men encountered and fought with Native Americans in Florida in 1539. But it don't say what this says. This says it plain as day. Negro Indians was a term used by Spanish explorers who described certain Native American groups with darker skin. So, and it said De Soto's expedition in 1540 primarily traversed through what is now the southeastern United States, encountering various tribes, including those referred to as Negro Indians near present-day Alabama and Mississippi.
Right, nephew? So yeah. See, that's why it's good to know history and know timeline. That's what I like about when my nephew went head on and put shit in chronological order in the blue fire, in the green fire. If you don't have those books, I suggest y'all to go and get it. It's a bestseller to me. It's a bestseller to me, you know. And I'm not selling it because he's my nephew. I'm selling because he did a great motherfucking job on the fucking book. That's what I say.
Yeah, the ones that I have the online ones, and I've read those. Those were good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, I'm
He
waiting on
get
my
too
other one.
he
But
get
nephew,
too big.
I was talking about this other book that
He get,
my mama
he get
said
too
at her house. So and you said you're gonna send me the book. Okay. All right. Thank you.
he get two thumbs up and two big toes up. Yeah,
You crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, he
Cause
does.
he put
I
the work
agree.
in. He put the work in. And I'm not gonna say scholarship or scholasticship. It's
Hmm.
past that because to say scholarship that means he's a student, but he's past a student. He's a master student and a master teacher, but y'all don't see it like that. But I do.
Right. The
You know?
student and the teacher is also the student.
Right, right, right. And nobody ain't fucking with it either.
Right. I
Nobody
can't
ain't fucking
wait
with
to
it.
get Free Fire.
Like I said, but people them they don't want to deal with it. They want to deal with it from an emotion standpoint of view. Fuck your emotions. Since you don't want to believe those who are descendants of those people that was here before us, then okay, let's see what the pale face in them say. Go see what the anthropologists in them say. Then what
Right.
the historians in them say. The bones tell the story.
Yeah.
That's why they like to do the exhuming of the bodies because they
Mm,
know that the body is not gonna lie. That's one thing about it. Your blood is not gonna lie, and your body is not gonna lie.
bones. What they say, wake up dry bones, give life to dry bones.
Right. Oh, nephew said look up DeSoto and the Upaha. Look that up, cuz you gonna find that information up.
Wait a minute. The Soto and the okay. The Soto and
Upaha, Upaha, Upaha.
okay. Uh,
And you wonder why my name pop up, huh?
you silly.
Oh Lord. And then he said go to Google Books.
It's a book.
Yeah, it's a book. He said go to Google and look up
Okay,
uh
you're right. Well, I
the
just
Soto and the Upaha.
Upaha was a woman ruled city in Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto.
No, not that one.
No, not that one.
Not that.
Okay.
There go what happened to the Soto search for Upaha. Right there. See, hold on. Wait, go back. See right there. See what happened to the Soto search for Upaha.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. See, look, there you go right there. See, in his omen. See, that's the same thing. It's the same thing when they're dealing with the 1540. De Soto and his omen travel north to Georgia to the town of.
Hmm.
Can't see it. Where my fucking
Which one you reading? What happened to DeSoto's search for Upaha? In 1540, DeSoto and his army traveled north through Georgia to the town of Kafaki.
Yeah,
DeSoto was told that Upaha was only 4 days from Kafaki, but the people of Kafaki didn't know of any dwellings in that direction. DeSoto reached uh, Kafiki Chiki, an Indian town near the future site of Augusta. DeSoto found no gold in Kafitachiki or nearby. I know I'm butchering that name, but excuse me. DeSoto and his men continued their search for gold and reached the Mississippi River, where he died from fever in 1542. And then it says,
So listen, he came by way where the Mississippi River is.
mm-hmm,
What? Don't the
yeah,
Mississippi right here by Louisiana?
yeah, it said by Augusta too. And that's what next door.
No, it said that's where the town was in Augusta. And he
Mm-hmm.
came with the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is right here, which became known as Louisiana. But remember, before it was called Louisiana, it was still known as the Florides. It was still known as the Florides.
Okay.
Nephew said, read the Catawba Nation Treasure on Amazon, and you can read an article example.
Let me see.
Nephew said he'll send a link. So, so, um, so by him being in the land of the Yuba'a, which is actually dealing with the South, right? That's coming all the way over here, which became known as Louisiana. You see, I would drop a Jew, but I'm not gonna drop that Jew. But just just know that the just know the family dealing with the swamps. Oh.
Okay, I see the book.
We the people of the swamps, baby. Yeah, yeah.
They just
You
keep
see, you
asking
see,
me if I want a preview and shit.
see, if you can go to the Google Books for that one. You say go to Google Books for it, where you can read example. Be quiet, Coco.
It just gives me a preview on Google Books.
Or you say you can read the preview on Amazon.
Mm, 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 mm.
You
It's
say
just
take the preview and he'll walk you through it. You got it?
yeah, it's right on the screen.
Okay.
Mm. Says they can be traced back to 2400 BC. I'm on the preview, nephew. What does it say? Most books that deal with the Native Americans of Dixie either ignore the cadaver or regulate them to a few sentences. That's interesting because my
He said
family
page. He said go to
has.
page 20, cuz.
Are they gonna let me go to page 20? Because this is just a preview. It's not like the PDF. Like the PDF, I can type in page 20 or 20 and it'll take me there, but this is just a preview. Oh, they got the Chikora in there. Okay.
He said just scroll
Right
down.
here. Is it this right here? Because we was just reading about this. And Upaha.
He said go to page 20 and scroll down. Yeah, he
Let
said that's the chapter. He said that's
Yeah,
the chapter. Yeah, he
yeah,
said that's the
that's
chapter.
because they won't let me go to page 20.
There you go.
Yeah, this is the chapter. Okay.
That's it. He said he gonna lead you to it. And he did.
Oh, I know. I was looking, um, I was scrolling up because I saw the chapter thing, but it wouldn't let me go to like page 20. Like on the PDF, if you type in a number, it'll take you to that page. But this is the preview, so
Well, you got it now.
yes,
Go ahead.
yes,
Go
we
ahead.
here.
Yeah, read it for the people.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see what part I need to read.
What paragraph she got to read, nephew? Ah, I figured that. All of it.
Hear him. You
All of it.
funny, you funny nephew, but okay. All right, all right, y'all. Y'all ready?
Go ahead. We ready.
All right, I like this because it mentions the Chikora. All right, this,
Ochicola. As nephew say. Ochicola.
yeah. Soon after Hernando de Soto began his journey across the American South, he began to hear rumors of a legendary land always outside of reach. Earlier explorers who had touched the eastern coastland of the continent called this place Chikora. Between 1521 and 1540, the land had changed names to Kofit, Kofita Chiki.
Chiquigui. Chiquigui. Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, that's your pronunciation. Okay. This place became DeSoto's goal. When DeSoto visited the Appalachie in a land that later came to be known as Georgia, the rumors about this land grew in intensity. During this period, DeSoto got lucky. One day, an Indian youth appeared in his camp. The youth had spent time with an Indian merchant who knew the region and had visited.
Chapakawiki.
I'm gonna get
Chapakawiki.
this word.
Chofi.
Kofita Chiki.
Cha. Chiqui.
Kofita Chiki. All right. To trade. The young fellow was called Pedro. The most interesting information Pedro provided the Spanish concerned an El Dorado to the north. Place to go. The place was famed for its gold, silver, and pearls. The Muskogee speakers of Georgia called the place Kofit.
Chofachiquigui. Chofachiquigui.
Kofita Chiki. Kofita Chiki.
Cheeky,
All right. The term
cheeky.
is a Creek word in keeping with the Creek who dominated the area DeSoto found himself in at the moment. DeSoto was to learn later that in the language of the Catawban speakers who lived there, the place was called Upaha. DeSoto, operating through greed, quickly abandoned Appalachia and headed north through Creek country. He was determined to reach two goals: peace with the Indians and possession of Kofita Chiki's treasures. As DeSoto's army inched its way north, the Indian diplomacy held sway. Rather than fight, the Indians generally approached DeSoto in friendship. All along the way, DeSoto declared his friendship and told his informants that he was seeking Kofita Chiki, a land none of the Creek ever dared to enter. DeSoto's hosts were faced with supporting a large army of Europeans. DeSoto at this point had over 1,000 men and 250 horses, not to mention his growing herd of hogs. The Indian response was to be rid of DeSoto as quickly as possible. By this time, they knew his greed all too well and always pointed him to the north and away from their territory. Oh, okay, I remember this. Okay. Eventually, DeSoto reached Kofaki, a chiefdom adjacent to Kofitachiki's southern border. The Indians of Kofaki, probably part of a Creek confederation, though they had never visited Kofitachiki, lived in a constant state of war with the fabled chiefdom to the north. So eager was the ruler of Kofaki to seek vengeance amongst his enemies beyond the Savannah River that he sent 8,000 men as guides with DeSoto. Kofaki men carried a huge food supply with them as they were ignorant of what they would find beyond the savannah. The Kofaki and the Kofitachiki were separated by a very wide uninhabited buffer zone between the two chiefdoms. After a week of wandering through this area, DeSoto and his Kofaki allies began to reach villages loyal to Kofitachiki. Operating on the ancient rule of vengeance, the Kofaki, unbeknownst to DeSoto, sacked this village. They desecrated temples and carried off any riches they could wrest from the vanquished Indians. They also collected scalps. When DeSoto discovered this deception, he loaded down the Kofaki war captain, ChitoPa, with gifts of fabrics, knives, scissors, and mirrors, and sent him back to the chiefdom of Kofaki, south of the Savannah River. The Spanish continued their earnest search for Kofitachiki. On May 1st, 1540, DeSoto's men reached a wide river. The legendary town of Kofitachiki lay on the opposite bank of the river. Pedro, a Spanish soldier who knew some of the Indian languages, shouted across the river explaining that DeSoto came in peace. Yeah, right. In time, a large canoe appeared on the opposite bank. It carried 6 noble ambassadors, all elegantly dressed. It is possible that at least some of these men held a high rank of war captain. Once they reached shore, they disembarked and made ceremonial rituals of respect and saluted in 4 cardinal directions. The men explained through interpreters that the chiefdom was ruled by a lady. They had little food to share since the chiefdom had recently suffered a pestilence, probably as a result of the disease brought to America. through the Spanish colonies established in the Caribbean. DeSoto repeated that he had come in peace. Satisfied with DeSoto's response, the Indian ambassadors returned to the town on the opposite bank. In a short time, two large canoes appeared. The first was filled with men who held large paddles. The second was a state canoe covered with a rich canopy, and decorated with fine cushions. Eventually, a lady accompanied by 8 serving women boarded the canoe. A convoy was formed. A convoy was formed, led by the ambassadors. This canoe was followed by a vessel that carried the men with the paddles, who towed the royal canoe across the river. The royal woman showed no sign of fear, but approached the excuse me, the royal woman showed no sign of fear but approached DeSoto with the confidence that suited her position. She alone spoke. The Spanish were amazed by her graceful charm and elegance. She knew that such a large army required food and offered part of what corn her people held in storage. As the lady of Kofitachiki spoke, she slowly removed a long strand of freshwater pearls that circled her neck 3 times and hung to her thighs. She asked DeSoto's translator to present the pearls to DeSoto. She feared that if she presented the pearls herself, it might seem immodest. In return, DeSoto gave his royal greeter a gold ring set with a ruby. Once the army was stationed in Kofitachiki, DeSoto spent his time exploring. The lady of Kofitachiki was shown samples of gold and silver and asked if her chiefdom produced such minerals. Ain't that a bitch? To DeSoto's dismay, he was presented with copper, which glistened like gold, and iron pyrite, which had silver color, but was not precious. The Spanish were not, however, disappointed by the pearls they were able to collect from various temples. DeSoto's men found so many pearls that they could not carry them away. DeSoto left Cofita Chiki on May 13th, 1540. Still in search of the legendary riches he did not find among the Catawban speakers of Cofita. Forgetting his gratitude, DeSoto forced the lady of Cofitachiki to join him in his march west as a hostage. Today, we know the site of Cofitachiki was near modern Camden. It was the ancient seat of power for the Catawba. The Catawba did not abandon its ceremonial center until after the Treaty of Augusta in 1763. For many years after this treaty was signed, the Catawba potters returned to a place they called Pine Tree Hill, Camden, to dig sacred clay. Now, I remember looking at this because I did some research on the Chicora because my family is connected to the Chicora. The Adgers, they had a plantation and they called it Little Chicora. Um, and some of my mother's ancestors came from South Carolina, and they said it was another name for South Carolina. So I remember reading this. It was early in my journey, but I'm reading this and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. But thank you, yes, thank you, nephew, for getting us here. Thank you, cuz ChitoPa.
Yeah, yeah. So when he came across the black Indians as he had it recorded, so and that was after when he met with the uh Tuscaloosa, which was named right, Tuscaloosa, right? And then he came into the area over here, which was the western part of Florida and everything. He met the Choctaw, you know. He met the
Mhm.
Choctaw and the Chickasaw. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah.
What you say about the cha-cha? Cause
I said he met the Choctaws and them everything over here as well. You know, so yeah. But it's like we say, we know the information that been passed down orally. We know because we are traditionalists. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't know, we wouldn't have the information to give to y'all. You know what I'm saying? But once again, like I said, nephew, he got two other cheese that y'all not fucking with. And then I know y'all ain't fucking with him when he dropped the information and everything. You know, he got an allergy that's old, he got one that's young. You know what I'm saying? They real gunners, you know what I'm saying? So we do what he do, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the thing, you know. So, you know, they had one person that asked me, well, why do y'all call yourselves with the Europeans and call y'all? Well, who said it was all Europeans? Oh, the Spanish was Europeans. I mean, they call them Europeans, but y'all say Europeans as you thinking that's being a pale face, but all of them was in pale face. You know, that's what people don't forget and not realizing that they, you know, just like people them thought that Christopher Columbus was a pale face, and he was not a pale face. He was a Moorish Sephardic Jew. You know what I'm saying? And I printed that out in 2012 on my on my Blog Talk radio show. You know what I'm saying? In 2012, you know, and then in 2016, the BBC came out, which is the British Broadcasting System, came out and said that Christopher Columbus was a Negro. And I was like, oh, they finally want to come out after me 4 years, 4 years later. I'm like, wow, you know. But yeah, that's a whole nother story within itself. But yeah, nobody can challenge you who you are. Your family know who you are.
right.
You know, nobody be laughing at these cats. Oh, you're not an Indian because you're not federally recognized. You're not an Indian, you're not state recognized. Motherfucker, when the Spanish and the French and them came over here, did they have a fucking BIA to say that? Like my nephew said, was the
No.
BIA? Fuck
No.
no. Fuck no.
Our ancestors was free. They didn't abide by nobody else's rules.
Right. Even when they did help the Spanish and the British and the French and them, they were like, hold on, man, y'all came over here by us. The fuck? Started burning down some of their missions and shit.
Yeah,
Nigga
them
told
dang on
me, was
missions.
your people the, was your people the traditionalists or was your people the motherfucking Christians?
Right, right. Yeah. Well, some of my ancestors, they got converted to Christianity, started a whole church and everything, founded one. But I'm sure a lot of people have that story. I know I ain't the only one.
But guess what? Even if they did convert it, some of them still was practicing their
Oh
traditional way of
yes,
life.
yeah. That's
They
we
got
had
their
them
little
holiness churches. Them holiness churches had that power because they still was using healing herbs and all that. Yeah, I miss them kind of churches. They don't have them today. Not for real. They're the ones you go to the water and it be a tent outside. But yeah, I gotta let's see what else is on here. What else they let us see on here. Yeah, that's it. That's the only preview they let us see. Another book that's good about that. This is a good one too. This is a good book too. I have this book.
Yeah.
It talks about
Yeah.
the Northeast tribes, Virginia.
So who all are still on the in the comments? You know, give us the three if you're still in the comments and everything. Which we about to get ready to
Oh,
wrap it up.
the same people. They still in the building.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see them. I can see them.
You know. And then you know what's so funny? They had one person trying to say, "You're not from the southeast. How you gonna talk about the southeast? And you from the Midwest, Louisiana,
They
and the
don't.
Midwest. When the fuck Louisiana became a part of the motherfucking Midwest? Let me
They
fucking know."
don't. They don't know it's a direction. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. That's the Midwest. Louisiana, today's Louisiana is in the South East. Stop playing.
Have
They
always been.
sound crazy for that. They really do.
Has,
They sound
has
crazy.
always been.
Yeah, they sound really crazy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they probably don't even recognize this. Where is the thing at?
Just like I had to show him, I got a land patent when it was Louisiana. When it was New Orleans, um, the District of New Orleans. That was before the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, sometimes when people they don't live in a place, how they gonna speak on it unless they have people that's from there and they know the history or they done researched it. Clearly, that person that said that they didn't research shit. Y'all quiet in the chat. Y'all still with us? I know. I see the numbers. I see the
Anybody
numbers.
got in the comments? Anybody got in the comments any questions?
Yeah, no, they just listening. They ain't got no. They ain't said nothing.
So yeah. So they saw the key dates and everything about them misclassifying people as Negroes. why why you gonna misclassify them if they didn't look like one? Because y'all saw the
Right,
Negroes first before y'all came over here.
right. And this is a little map that it looked like some dark skinned Indians on this map.
Yeah, his people was from Italy. Yeah, his people was from Italy. Yeah, they don't look at that map right there, cause
Yeah, I like this one because it got some nice dark skinned Indian faces on it. I know, we have all shades, different shades, and different hair textures. We are diverse, but you know, all tribes don't necessarily look the same, people.
I tell them don't be mad at me because you didn't know.
Right, right, right.
We gave y'all the information. Y'all will go ahead on and try to debunk it. It's cool. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
but
your European ancestors and them wrote us down as being Negroes. And now they want to say, oh, they mislabeled them as Negroes. Now did they have some white ones? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So y'all saw some different book sources tonight. Um, I think that's the only one that they let me look at. Okay, y'all saw this one. In which it deals with this. Y'all can look up this fact check. And then don't forget this portion we covered about the Negro Indians, since it is Negro Indian History Herstory Month. That's what I call it.
And now once we said for y'all to believe it, go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they saw that gold. They was always looking for gold and shit.
And if you find anything else different, come bring it to us next Sunday. And we can talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be interesting.
Right. If you find anything different, please bring it to us. And we can talk about it.
And then this one, the Indian slave trade book. Y'all can look at this one. And y'all can look at
Because
Africa.
you got people, because they got people that say, oh, the reason why they look like they black because of the slaves that was born here. Well, we telling you things that was before the so-called transatlantic slave trade. So now what you gonna say about that? Why they was
Right,
called Negroes before the transatlantic slave trade? Answer that question, smart ass.
right. Always gonna have some shit to say.
Uh-huh. Bring that to your TikTokers and your and your Instagrams and all that. Bring it to them. Explain that. Why people was called Negroes before the Negroes from Africa was brought to the Americas? Why the people of the Americas was called Negroes before the transatlantic slave trade?
Yeah, here's another one. Y'all can get this book too. Yvmvse Culture, Heritage, and Practices Study Guide.
That book is out of print.
Oh, it's out of print? Okay.
Been out of print.
All right. Let me get y'all another.
I been told you that was out of print.
You did? Okay. Uh, yeah, you done told me a lot of shit. So, okay. Then noted. Noted. That's in the forefront of my brain now. And this is a good one too. Um, yeah, Return of the Ancient Ones. That's a good one for y'all to check out. Negro Indian Herstory History Month. Yep, that one's online. Y'all can look that up. Y'all can also look at this one too. Out of Florida, the south mile of Caribbean settlement. Y'all can look at that one. And then let me pull up this other one. And then y'all can look at these. The Blue Fire by our nephew. Dealing with the birth of the Wale. Y'all can get this book. Yeah, I can get the Green and the Blue Fire. We got this one. Humanity's Flame When the Smoke Cleared. Wale Origins Book 2. I got this one in the matriarch book. And this is for educational purposes, entertainment purposes, fair use, for news reporting, all of that goodness. So, anybody got any questions or comments? Excuse me. Cuz you quiet over there. What you doing? You texting somebody that called your ass while we
Uh-uh.
laugh? Oh, okay.
I'm up there listening to you, cuz. And,
Uh,
and I am on the phone too.
I knew your ass was on the phone because you was quiet. My goodness.
Yep. So what y'all thought about this show tonight, y'all? What y'all feed on it? I like to thank everybody who came and joined us tonight. It's always good to have, Chief Wale, to come join nephew, what I'm saying, cousin Anthony, all my family members, my blood,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and my friends and everything. I'm glad y'all came and joined, what I'm saying. So we
Yeah.
make this informative for everybody, what I'm saying. And no, we ain't paying Indians. You know what I'm saying? We the obvious that what people don't like to talk about. You know, they thinking they thinking that the Indians of the Southeast are Asians, and they are not. They are
Right.
not. They are not. They are not. They are not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then you had some of them that did come and mix in with the mound builders here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that happened. You know what I'm saying? But ask those in the mainstream media or academia why y'all don't talk about who the real mound builders are. When you go ask those people who built the mounds, they'll be like, we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, because they were not Asians. Or Eurasians, I should say.
Right. I wish I had this color. I got a one of them drives with this book on there in color, but I don't know where it is. Talking about the mountain builders.
For sure, cuz, for sure. All the time.
Yes, Chico. And
Let me give y'all a little information, right? You
the,
know, I did Blog Talk Radio show in 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That's when I stopped. My cousin Jason was like, "Pod, you need to go ahead on and do a podcast." I was like, dude, I said, we spent all them years doing Blog Talk Radio show, and we giving out information, and we helping people with their genealogy and everything. And we
mhm,
asked the people that if you love the content that we are sharing and the information and everything, just go ahead on and show us a love offering of $1. That's all
mhm,
that I was $1 at that time. $1.
mhm,
My Jason, my other cousin Jason W, He was like, Pop, man, everybody taking your information. I said, bro, it's not my information. I'm just sharing what I know. He said,
Right.
man, making money off everything, man, you should have been the. I was like, bro, I love what I do, dealing with the information and everything. So Jason was like, man, you need to go ahead on and come on out of retirement, come out of retirement, bro. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, nah. I said, we've been spending the doggone blog talk radio show out of our pockets for how many years, bro? He said, yeah, I know. And everything. I say, here we ask the people just send a donation of $1. That's it. They couldn't even do that. So I say, you know what? We gonna go on a hiatus. And a hiatus was a long hiatus. So he was like, bro, we need to go ahead and do a podcast. That's when they started doing the podcast on YouTube. What's up,
Mhm.
cousin Walpad? I'm like, you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not leaving it alone. So my cousin Christina, when she came down here and everything, I'm showing her everything that nobody didn't show her when she came down here to New Orleans. I'm bringing her to all the tribal places and stuff and everything. She's like, you need to do touring like that. And I was like, I don't know. She said, look, you need to start doing the tour. I'm like,
Yeah, I told him he sure needs to do tours because I had been to New Orleans. Like I told y'all, I had been to New Orleans every year when I went to Grambling. We came down there for the Bayou Classic and we went a couple of times for Mardi Gras. So I had been on tours and been with people in the NOLA. But when I went down there and I saw Pi, he did take me and the person that I was with on a tour, and he showed us like different sites that the other people don't show in the normal tours. Um I thought that was awesome because he broke down even like the structure of the buildings and the different things, the signs and symbols, and I love that type of shit. Symbols and shit. But he was doing that shit and I said, you need to be doing tours. You need to be making pamphlets, and when people come to New Orleans, they need to be calling you up or going on your website to get a tour from you, or you can train people to do the tours. Have your own little staff, and we talked about that shit. So I'm waiting on him to do his own special tours.
well, let me tell you. Oh, my good friend Kaleo, he was like, Pa, he said, the Most High had me to contact you. He said, man, look, he told me we need to go ahead on and do an Indigenous New Orleans tour, from New Orleans to Providence Point, you know, and this was like in 2022. So
Mm-hmm.
he been trying to get the funding and everything to go in certain things. Certain things come through, certain things been on hold and everything. So we just waiting stuff. And so I've been showing him stuff. He like, man, wow. He said, Pa, you really know this shit? I'm like, yeah, bro. And then let me show you how things work, right? My cousin Walpad, he was friends with NYC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he asked NYC, he said, man, look, he said, how can I find my tribe and everything and dealing with information and stuff? He said, well, talk to ChitoPa. He down there in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So he contacts me. So when he contacts me, I saw his last name. So I started asking him questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't know. I said, well, ask your mother. Nah, he right here.
Mm-hmm.
He right here. One pad. 514. He on there. Type what happened, cuz. I let him tell.
What
I
he said?
told him our family info. He didn't tell you. Since people that were like, oh, you know who you are. You know who you are. If it wasn't for NYC and talking to my cousin would never found who I was. But when he inboxed me and everything, I told him. He said, man, I talked to my mama, and bro, you right. Because I'm related to him on his mama's side. He right there. I don't know if he's typing. Warpad, you typing about what happened? About how you inbox me?
No, he can just come on instead of typing all that shit. Some people don't like typing all that. He can just come on. I'm about to share the link.
You can share the link. And you don't have to show your face on the camera. You just can talk. You ain't got to show your face on the camera, but you can come on and say how you and say how I gave you the information and everything, and you went verified it.
Moderators and
Boy, Pad, you still there?
he might be gone.
Well, either way, he confirmed with his mother what I told him, and she confirmed everything I said. But yeah, but I wasn't gonna do no podcast show no more, no radio show no more. And the next thing you know, cousin Christina was like, cousin Pop. I was very motherfucking adamant about doing no show no more, but something happened, and now I'm on the show, co-hosting with cousin Christina.
Yeah. Yep. It's what by divine design, as they say.
Because I wasn't gonna do no shows no more. This gonna be the last radio show that I do.
If you still on here, Warpath, I put the link in the chat. Well, I put the URL in the chat. It ain't lighting up like a link. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. It's supposed to light up.
And then, it's just really amazing how
No, it
people
does light up. It does light up. So all he got to do is click on the link.
link.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it from my phone and it is lit up. So all you got to do is click that link and he can join us.
Do you still see him in the chat or no?
Well, I mean, he haven't said nothing. But it's 15 people in here right now. But I can't see like everybody's name that's actually in here. I can just see that it's 15 people, and he made his last comment at 8:37.
Okay.
But he don't even gotta type it in. All he gotta do is just click that link. So anybody else wanna come on in?
Anybody else can come on. Those that found out my relative and everything. Family ties. What does your blood say? It ain't got to be no quad for me either.
You said what?
Well, it's about to be. Well, it's 8:47 now.
Yes.
Eastern Standard Time. But since we don't have no more comments and no more questions, don't forget that we do have some merch, right?
Yes, we do. Let me
If you
pull.
want to show your love, go ahead on and get the merch of the SouthEastern Talking Stick. right? Get your merch.
Yes, it's
Let
another.
people see that you listen and you come in and you observe while you on here. The people be like, well, what's that? It's a Southeastern Talking Stick, baby. That's what it is. We
Yeah.
really
I
appreciate
mean,
y'all. We
let me
really appreciate y'all.
pull this up.
What episode show this is, cuz?
I don't know, cause um,
We started in March, right?
yeah, we could approaching our year anniversary of
Yeah,
Southeast.
anniversary next month. God damn.
So crazy.
Oh, oh shit. Well, we never got the chance to do our year countdown where we had all the different shows and everything. The show from the so-called Gregorian calendar of 2024 to show the
Mm,
best. So I guess we're gonna have to do like a countdown on the yearly uh show and everything.
yeah.
I suggest everybody to go back and look through the shows and see who y'all want to come up. Be like, man, look, we want to like have the Chiefs in them to come on, or what was your favorite show? And we can actually pull it up and we can listen to it and be like, hey, this certain person like this show. You know, we got we got a lot of shows.
Yeah, and y'all can pull up. We have our store in the description of this live. Where is it? Right here, where it says my store. Right here, it says our store. You can just click that, and it'll take you here. That's for green corn. But this is we
Yeah,
got
that's
two
the
designs.
yeah.
Yeah, we got this one. This is the classic one right here. And then this design. So we got a little bit of everything, y'all. Shirts, hoodies, bags, you name it.
Cell phone cases.
Hat, blanket, aprons for when y'all want to grill.
You know what? I'm gonna have to go ahead on and order me a shirt, order me a t-shirt.
Yeah.
We can see me sporting our own shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Yep. Let me see. Did anybody say something before I? All right. Well, cuz, what's up? We good? I don't see no more comments or questions in the
Well, we good. We
building.
good. Y'all good. If y'all good, we can continue. Y'all good. Y'all straight. Y'all great in the baby. Well, I guess they good, cuz. Yes, they good.
Y'all good? Well, y'all enjoy this Negro Indian Herstory History Month. Uh, y'all check out all those books that we showed y'all today. Um, those are good books. Yep. So I'm out, cuz. Peace.
And if y'all wanna us to touch on a certain topic don't be afraid to drop it in our box. We'll be like, look, we want y'all to do this if possible. Hey, we'll talk about it. All right. So y'all have a good night. Chito holler at y'all later.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.